Yo, what is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to the final episode of this week. We're here. We made it. The final episode of the first week of October of 2020. Okay, I'll stop being cringy. How you guys been? How was your day? Hopefully you had some profitable opportunities on the market, because I for sure did. So the market obviously giving you already know what more. No audio. The audio is still lacking. Please tell me it's working. Hopefully we fix that audio issue, but let me know if it's not fixed. Need more day. Gotcha. Need more day on the market, says Dieter. But okay, let's continue then. So today, obviously, crazy day on the market. We had pretty good opportunities all across the board. Chinese names. You had some random name EVGO popping up to the north side today. That was very profitable for me. You had Palantir going up to $39. That was insane. Tesla getting it absolutely smacked down from 250. If you guys remember me yesterday calling out that level 250 to 240, you're basically playing under over 240 or under over 250, and if you chose either of those levels to play under over on, you were profitable on the day. And if you didn't play in the middle, that's also, you know, would have kept you away from a lot of the chop off the open when the stock was deciding what it wants to do. So Tesla was opportunistic today, and obviously we're still waiting to see how the problems in the Middle East end up playing out, and if they give us opportunities on oil names, on the overall market itself, as the market potentially pulls back with fear of war and so on. So lots of craziness over here to expected, and thankfully, while we're waiting for all that war tensions, the war mongering from you know, Middle East troubles, we have the great Chinese dragon doing its crazy things that it's been doing all week. So China's still looking pretty strong. They gapped lower to start the day, but they managed to rally right back up to the north side. So that was pretty insane to watch on the market too. I thought the gap down on these Chinese market would actually you know, put in the downside move for it, but no, that did not put in the downside move in it at all. It said we're gonna rally from here, and then you know, they just kept going higher and higher. So watching some of the names in the Chinese basket, obviously, and the semiconductor basket. So that's basically how our watch list is gonna go for tonight. Before we head over to the watch list, let's quickly say hello to the wonderful viewers. We got Dieter. Hello, Dieter. Thank you for telling me that my audio was off. TH is in the house. What's up, TH? The Joker. That's right. That's the thumbnail for today. The Joker becomes the trader. I guess I'm missing some facial makeup that I need for being the Joker. But I don't need that. I am the Joker. Ha 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 ha. We got Victor, who just not too long ago finished his own stream, was catching up on his stream talking about hymns, Eli Lilly, and a bunch of other names, you know, so it was great to always check out Victor's streams in the morning and in the evening these days. So go give that guy a follow. He's got great content. Good evening, Prad. I smashed the like and looking forward for tomorrow's action. Yes, sir. Thank you, John. Let's get that money, baby. Let's get that money. So let's head over to the full screen, as we have said hello to all of our wonderful viewers today so far in the chat, and talk about the stocks that we care about for tomorrow. Before we do that, do you guys want to see my trades on the day? Maybe let's start off with that instead. So as I said, EVGO, the random name that came out of nowhere. I still don't really know the catalyst for it, but I saw the stock gap up on in the morning when I was heading over to work. I was on the public transit, scanning the market, scanning the stocks, and I noticed EVGO was up quite a bit in pre-market. Then all I did is simply pull up EVGO on the daily chart, and I looked for a level to keep an eye out for. It was this 480 area. Simple under over 480. Either the stock stays above 480 or it gets sold back under 480 and it struggles. So right off the open, I was just sitting there waiting patiently to see what the stock would do. It wiggled around a little bit, sold off this pre-market high, and then managed to actually find buying off of that 480 area. So what do? Boom, start getting into the longs, build into the longs, scalp some profits out, take more longs, take some profits out as I'm, wondering if the stock has topped out for the day into $5 and then probably pulls back to the south side. So I'm taking some more profits, but I'm making sure that I leave some size on the board for that bigger move, which later on gives you that juicy move all the way up to 650. I thought we could get 7 today, but hey, I'll be happy with what we get. Almost $1 per share. I guess a little bit more than $1 per share was made on this position on EVGO today. It's got, I think it was something along the lines of, let me quickly, we don't need that anymore, so we can just get rid of that. Go to notifications, go to Angry Buddha. Thank you, Angry Buddha. Go over here and look for Nathan's post on EVGO. So it's this one over here. They had a positive catalyst. EVGO receives conditional commitment from DOE, Department of Energy, loan guarantee of up to $1 billion to accelerate the build out of its public fast charging across the US. That's pretty good. $1.5 billion being poured into their pocket out of nowhere, and even a nice price target, I guess, looks from JP Morgan, taking that stock to the north side, allowing me to look for a very clean, simple long. Held 480, look long, never had to look back, and you basically got to ride all the way up to 650. So shout out to EVGO today for my #1 trade on the day. I talked about Moderna yesterday to you guys quite extensively, if you guys remember. Sadly, I didn't get the main meat of the move because I was expecting the stock to die way quicker. I wasn't passive as I said you should be. Always be passive, especially on slow late names like these when there is no catalyst. It does not have an increased R-wall. It's not bringing in more volume than the 30-day average. There is no fresh news catalyst being poured into this position. It's Moderna, and it's also Moderna not in the $300-$400 ranges. It's Moderna in the $60 ranges where the PE is probably I guess they don't make money. That's funny. But, but this is not, we're not expecting Moderna to go to 0. So playing it in such an aggressive breakout manner when I start taking entries down here and entries down over here, it kind of messes up my trade for me. It's not a red stock for me. I'm not red on the name. I'm actually made money on the name. But, it doesn't allow me to actually capture the meat of the move that pulls up later had I just played the stock way more passively, right? Stock pulls back into the opening range lows, rejects off the opening range lows, and then sells back down. Creates a double top into the opening range lows. So had I just shorted the pops instead of looking for the aggressive breakout fills, because when I'm taking fills like these, I'm actually expecting the stock to just die for the next 10 minutes straight to the downside. But when the market's not selling off, S&P 500 bounced off of 565 like 3 times today. And that's the big level, 565. So S&P 500 bounced off that level like 3 times when the market's not really putting in that bearish move, when Israel's not bringing in the catalyst for the market to have extended fear. We should not expect stocks like Moderna to really flush that way as I'm pushing into it. However, green trade for me. I could have traded this way better had I just waited for the pullbacks, loaded into the pullbacks. Once the selling has shown up to me, loaded into the pullbacks, and then just enjoyed the ride to the south side. Ooh, that rhymed. I like that. Now, let's talk about Tesla. So didn't really take the 250 short as I wanted because I was distracted by EVGO right off the open. I wasn't watching Tesla. Also, the way the market looked right off the open, Nvidia was rallying, semiconductors was fairly strong. Tesla had a pretty big move right off the open. That's from 243 244.50 to 250 right off the open, and we're pulling back into VWAP and we're holding above VWAP. So I wasn't really looking to short Tesla at 250, but had you just played the under over, right? Simple under over, after a little bit of rejection here, you could have gone short somewhere under VWAP, given it that $3 risk, and you're getting more than a $3 risk. The stock's ATR is literally $10, and you got more than $10 on the trade on the range today. So monster move had you just taken that trade. However, I tried something different. I tried to get lucky after a big extended move. What you see over here on the downside, this candle is called the capitulation candle. So we had a capitulation candle. I traded this pretty poorly, so it was a flat trade for me. I made no money. I didn't lose any money because I had my stop at break even. I didn't want to lose money on this setup at all, so I just took my stop at break even. But what you have over here on the 1 minute, or was it right there, I believe so, is a capitulation candle. You have a big volume candle after an extended down move where the stock usually can put in a bottom after a candle like that. Of course, the stock didn't really put in a bottom. It rallied back into looks like yesterday's low and got rejected from yesterday's low and pulled right back to make another low to the south side today. But that is like a very close to being the capitulation candle that you're looking for after a parabolic move to the downside, more than one ATR move from top to bottom. You can look to take the breakout of the previous candle. So that's exactly what I did on that down move over there. Took the breakout of the previous 2-minute candle, so it was basically 239.50, and had my stop at 239.50 itself. Eventually the stock did go higher, but sadly I had already gotten stopped out before it did make that run up. However, that run up wasn't too big, and that's kind of what I was looking for too. I was just looking for a move into 241. I wasn't looking for a move all the way into VWAP, because clearly this structure over here going into low a day, where we push into low a day, bounce, and then break the low a day, that's a great spot to look for a short with your stop somewhere right over here. You're risking maybe $1 and you're getting more than $1 reward scalp really quick on that position after that low a day break. Sadly, I wasn't watching it then either. I was only watching because my alert went off when the stock went into 240, and that's when I started watching this position. I was like, oh shit, it's at 240. Oh god damn, I gotta focus on this name now. So I started focusing, and then I took that little 2-minute bar scalp event, but sadly traded it very, very poorly. Had I just stuck to my original stop and not stopped out at break even, I would have gotten my 2R scalp right away, and I just walk away with my 2R scalp. Maybe I just cut it over here for a 1.5R scalp and walk away from it. So it would have been a very easy trade to have. Just fucked it up myself. Damn it, Brad. Meta. This is actually very interesting how Meta traded today at the $580 area. So let's pull back on Meta. What the hell? Okay, right there. Where are we? So right here, you can see for how long this is Meta. Meta was just stuck in a dollar range. Very, very, very tight range for a long time. Yeah, we kind of had a big range here, but then the range started getting tighter and tighter and tighter. So I took the breakout of this range to the downside, the 580 breakout right here, and was able to quickly get a nice scalp to the downside. I was expecting a little bit more of a downside move scalp on Meta back into VWAP or so, but that would have required the market to be really weak. The market wasn't that weak. Going into 565, the market bounced again, so I started cutting my Meta right into these areas. But that hold into 580 was just insane. And then later on in the day, after we go back lower, pop back up, it just starts to hold that 580 area again. So it was like there was just a buy program going into 580 almost. Not sure how to read that analysis, but very, very sticky into the $580 price. So allowed me to look for a short. Could have given you a long also later on in the day if you were looking for it. So Meta, that was a good trade. This one wasn't really any real trade. Here's my only real loser on the day. XOM. I tried to force that 123 breakout on this position, and I gave it too much risk. Then I tried another little long attempt into VWAP. At this point, US oil already had pulled back. XOM and other oil names themselves have made a pop because Biden made a comment about Israel probably attacking you know, oil refineries in Iran and all that craziness that could potentially happen, that could, you know, make oil names go crazy. So that caused a little bit of a pop, and then XOM just started to consolidate perfectly into 123, where I thought, okay, this breakout should be juicy, and it did look good until it didn't, and then it just broke back lower. It went back right into today's open, bounced off of today's open, and gave you a little bit of a long scalp off of that area. So not much to really read into this. I forced two long attempts, and I gave them decent amount of risk, and I lost both of those attempts. My only real red name on the day today, besides that, shout out to EVGO. Probably should add this name to the watch list, because we don't have this one on the watch list right now. Probably should add this one and Clove, because apparently both of these names have been going a little crazy. So let's quickly show you guys Clove here. Also go to the daily chart. Holy shit. Day 1, day 2. So Clove going a little bonkers. So let's quickly add Clove and what's the other one I just mentioned? EVGO to the watch list. Grab their ETRs. EVGO 44 cents. Clover Health Investments 27 cents. All right. So now we have 2 more stocks to the watch list. Hi Prad, can you analyze 2 small caps, HUSA and INDO? Both are oil plays. Ooh, HUSA, I forgot about that one. Yeah, we could take a look at that. I do have INDO on the watch list. When I do get there, hopefully I'll remember to take a look at HUSA also. Israel bombed nuclear power plants and it's lights out for Hezbollah, says TH. I mean, they thought killing the Hezbollah, head of the Hezbollah would have stopped Hezbollah, but as I was having a discussion with my friends earlier, is cutting the head of the snake really ever stopping the organization? I don't know about that. I don't know about that. You know? Has it ever done that? Has cutting the head of any snake ever stopped any organization? Like, Taliban's still a thing. Osama's been dead, right? Not sure how that works, but that's a whole different conversation to be had. So let's start with the top of the watch list over here. EVGO. We got EVGO blasting off today with that $1 billion catalyst pouring into their bank account thanks to Department of Energy. They want their... Is it EV chargers? I'm guessing it's EV chargers because it says EV Go. So they want their EV chargers built out and put in more areas across the United States. So looks like, you know, obviously the move over damn it, the move over from gas to the transition, I guess, right? The transition from gas to EV, the zero emission, greenhouse effects, and all those fancy stuff over there that the government wants to do. They're trying to pour some money into other companies who can potentially help them do that. So EVGO getting a nice $1.05 billion contract, allowing them to break out and move to the high side. If you pull out the stock a little bit, you'll see 650 was actually a little bit of a resistance on this name. So looking for the next resistance if we can actually go up there. Usually a name like this, I mean, it's a real company. It's not like a shitty small cap or whatever, right? It's a real company. They do real things. They have a decent amount of float also. I think it's 100 million float. Yeah, 100 million float. But the juicy part is the short float. The 25% short float makes things a lot more exciting. So as the stops get blown out and the stocks brings in more and more volume, I mean, today's 121 million shares. They're pretty easy under overs that you're playing with the stock that's this volatile today. You're just reading how the stock plays with the technical levels from today's action. So today's anchored VWAP, today's high, today's low. I don't expect the stock to go back into $5 all the way back into today's low, because this catalyst is very bullish in my opinion. So I'm expecting the stock to pull back into today's VWAP, find some support off of this area, and then rally back into today's high, have a little bit of a range in today's candle somewhere like this, and get set up for the next few days for a potential secondary breakout above 650. So I think we'll see some cooling off the engines, but hey, this is day one. If the stock has a day 2 and a day 3, which is usually how stocks set up, for example CLOV, that's day 1, today's day 2, volume on day 1 and day 2 insane. Day 2 actually managed to bounce off of, I bet it bounced off of yesterday's VWAP, didn't even come into play with yesterday's VWAP. That's how bullish it was. So just opened slightly around yesterday's high and then just completely broke out from yesterday's high into $4 area. Didn't even bother to go check that support into yesterday's VWAP. So that could very well be what's going to be happening with EVGO tomorrow. We might just open a little bit lower and then just blast off from today's high from 650 into $8. That could happen very, very easily, and the stock just struggles to get below above 8 but doesn't really get below, I'll say 757. So looking for all the opportunities over here on this name tomorrow without a doubt. For now, we do have a solid resistance at 650 that stock has been struggling to get above today. Did it get above 650? No, 649 was the highest it got above. 648, sorry, because 649 is the price it hit. So we're watching how 650 behaves. Above 650, you can clearly see that $8.16 was the previous last year. Why did I say previous? I was gonna say previous all-time high, but that's not what I wanted to say. The last year high was at $8.16. Now it's usually not like 100% to the penny to the price level, so let's just give it a range around $8 to $8.20. We got a potential target if the stock is able to find buying above $6.50. So EVGO, put that one on the watch list tomorrow. If the Chinese stocks start to slow down a little bit, if the Israel catalyst doesn't really pick up and start causing trouble around Middle East, then we probably don't have a reason to even trade the oil names or even the defense names like RTX and so on. Those stay on the watch list until shit starts to pop off. If shit starts to pop off, then you have a watch list very quickly to go attack into. But if that doesn't happen, then you have always these names to lean on, EVGO, and I'm expecting CLOV to potentially give us a trade tomorrow too. Let me just quickly note where today's VWAP lies after today's action. Oh, what? I'm putting dots on my charts again. I love it. So today's VWAP right around 580. So I'll be watching how 580 behaves. That's going to be my inflection point. On any pullback, I don't really want to see the stock below 580. And then really for the support area, it doesn't get any simpler than $5 to $4.80. That's the previous area where we just kind of broke out of. You're expecting the stock to pull back in there and find supports into if it does pull back in there, which is last month's high, $4.80. You're giving it that 20-cent range buffer for action to see how it trades in that area. And then once you see how the action trades in that area, then you can decide to either cut to the trade or add to the trade. It's up to you. So EVGO, top of the watch list, because today was day 1, so tomorrow will be day 2. Now we have this name over here potentially having a day 3 opportunity. So day 1, day 2. Now day 3, we kind of need a reminder maybe for this. So let's quickly pull in. Let me try to do this. Hold up. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. Let me go here. Stop. Go here, go to my playbook. That's right, always have a playbook. Pull up the anchored VWAP chapter 8. Let me tab to a new window, and I can move the window here. Boom. So anchored VWAP playbook. We got day 1, day 2. Don't tell me I didn't take notes of day 3. Damn it! I knew it. But this is the basic idea. You're watching for the stock to pull back into the previous day's VWAP and see how the action reacts on the previous day's VWAP. So for now, you basically have... Where's my purple anchor VWAP? Hello? Didn't I just throw it in? Where I just threw it in and it just disappeared on me. I love it. Oh, maybe it's behind the yellow. Oh yeah, it could be behind the yellow one. That's what happened. It's behind the yellow one. I'm not gonna be able to retrieve it right now, but that's fine. There you go. So day one action, insanely strong. I mean, just straight up. Did not even, stop at a single second. Straight up shot. Today, right off the open, basically did the same thing, but any dip downs, it got bought right back up and moved right back into $4. So that's pretty bullish over there. Now you're basically looking for the stock to either get above 4 and stay above 4, or reject 4 and then pull back to the downside. So pretty simple ideas over here for tomorrow on CLOV. For me, it's just 4 under over, and it's not as high priority as EVGO. Obviously, EVGO has a lot more volume at the moment, and it's only day 2, whereas Clover is day 3. This could kind of slow down its engines. If you even pull the stock into the monthly chart, you can see how we're basically at monthly resistance on this name all the way back from, what is this, January of 2022. So we're going back 2 years ago. 2 years ago, resistance coming into play. Is this catalyst really bullish enough for the stock to get above this $4.10 and continue rallying higher? For that, we really need to see buying staying above 4 for us to even be interested. So let's see how that plays out tomorrow in pre-market and off the open. Now we have the Chinese sector, starting with the Chinese EV. One of my most favorite follows on Twitter, Nathan pointed out that these should be the best opportunities tomorrow using today's resistance levels. So he's not really giving you the whole answer. He's telling you where the homework should be in, but at the same time, he's not really telling you where exactly the answers is. So that's where we're gonna try and try to decipher what he means by that. So if you just zoom out a little bit, look for the possible resistance areas on these names such as XPEV, NIO, Li Auto, and TIGR. On any sort of a sell-off tomorrow on the Chinese market, these will be potentially the names to attack. Remember how extra enthusiastic I was to short the Chinese names. So when people like Nathan are pointing out what stocks to kind of look for in the direction you want to maybe point yourself into, you want to start doing that homework. So today's resistance, we consolidated pretty well into the Monday's anchored VWAP and so on, which was, I guess, the day that the action kind of picked off. So that was the day where the action really picked off, and then the second action picked off as the first action picked off a little bit earlier than that. Anyways, rejecting Monday's anchored VWAP over here, which is the weekly VWAP, and finding right now solid resistance under yesterday's low. So that's right around $12.50. For the whole later half of the day, the stock did not manage to stay above $12.50 area at all. So that could be the first area of resistance. You can see how the VWAP is also coming right into $12.50 to $12.60. So finding first area of resistance potentially into that area if the stock is not able to get above today's VWAP slash yesterday's low, which was also the consolidation high of today. So if it doesn't manage to get above it, that's an easy short right there. If we do manage to get above from there, then I think an easier way to look for these resistances will be on the hourly chart. So let's pull back on the hourly chart. I also like to go to these charts instead when I'm looking at hourly names. So let's go to XPEV and see what we can find. That tripped me out. Okay, so here we have something that's a pretty solid consolidation on the hourly chart into $12.30. We got some auto charted indicators. No clue what these are myself, I'll be honest. These are not something that these were something that were told to use to me by one of my co-traders, not my manager, but one of my co-traders. They wanted me to try it out, so this is just some random indicators they told me to try out, and I have. So don't ask me to explain this to you. I cannot. But what I'm just currently reading is the the hourly candles. This chart is just much cleaner to read hourly candles for me, in my opinion. So looking for the next support zone right into $12. If we get up below 12, then we got the 1150 pocket, this little consolidation pocket where the stock traded between 1150 to $12. So getting below 12, I would easily expect 1150. Getting below 1150, I think we're going back into this $10 pocket, because there's a lot of emptiness in this area where the stock could really start flushing. So getting below 1150 on XPEB, that is really game on. I'm not saying the stock can do all of that in one day. You know, the market's not really, or the sector's not really that weak to give you all of that in one day. But getting short somewhere here and expecting a move into that low is not wrong, in my opinion. So watching how all of these names react, getting them charted on the hourly chart just looks way cleaner. So looking for that low to get exploded. That's around 1230. And then once we get below that low, go into basically the $12 low, and then below the $12 low you have the 1150 low coming into play. But he said resistances, so we want to see how the stock reacts on pops and if they reject into those pops. So this pocket right here, 1260, that's the pop I want to watch, and I want to see how that pop fails. If we stay below that pop, below 1260, then that's the short trigger right there. But if we start buying above 1250, then you kind of want to stay hands off into $13, into $13.50 before looking for the short. So for now, my main level I want to keep an eye on XPEB will be that 1260 high that I was just talking about earlier. It also lines up perfectly with the hourly chart resistance that I had spotted. Hourly chart is just beautiful. Let's look at NIO. So it looks like somewhere into $7. That's $6.94. So basically into $7 over here on NIO. The stock should not find buying above $7 if you're looking for a short intraday. You also have this nice double bottom on the hourly chart right into $6.50, $6.60, $6.60, $6.70. What was this candle's low right here? $6.67. So let's just say $6.66, right? The nice devil's number, 666. If the stock gets below 666, I think you can easily expect a move into 639 and then even lower. But honestly, NIO, I still believe NIO is the worst name you can short in this sector, because the amount of buying the stock has clearly put into play above the previous consolidation. So previous consolidation low all the way down over here. We broke out, then we started holding these levels, and then we just continue breaking out higher and higher. So NIO not really as high priority for me to short compared to XPEB or Li Auto, in my opinion. So watching these ones more closer for the return back to the south side. So Li Auto, pretty meh. I rather look for the breakdown on this position. So the 28.57 looks better for me. If the stock stays below 28.57, then you got quite a bit of a room to the downside that could open up on this position. So watching how this one plays out. But if pops do give you a short somewhere into 29.50, I mean, who am I to say no to those opportunities? So I'm expecting this $1 range from 29.50 to 28.50 on Li Auto to help me make a decision. Either you stay above 28.50 and I stay away from the shorts, and then you go into 29.50 and then I look for the shorts, or you stay above 29.50 and then I look for the longs for a move into $30, $40, $100, wherever these damn stocks feel like they're gonna go to. But at the moment, with the pullback on the overall ETFs today, on the Chinese ETFs gapping down themselves, not really sure you want to be that bullish. However, these moves are ridiculously bullish. Next one, TIGR. Looks like this one hasn't really cooled off its jets yet. So TIGR, Tiger, I'm not sure what they do, but they are going still crazy. Let's go take a look at Futu. Okay. Futu going crazy again. A lot of these Chinese names are insane. So TIGR, the higher priority tomorrow, I guess, than any of the other Chinese names. If we see resistances right into $9.50, which is today's high, or resistance even higher than that, you might want to be ready to look for the short over there on TIGR. For the breakdown, let's go to the hourly chart instead. I don't want to be on the 5-minute here. I guess that's too small of a pattern. I don't really see a really solid base that I could, you know, play an under over on the downside. I guess you could say somewhere into this 850 area. Somewhere into that 850. If we get below 850, there's potentially room into $8, into $7 on TIGR. So there could be a play there, but I much rather be forced to make a decision at 950 than be forced to make a decision at 850. But hey, we got two levels that could potentially give us an idea to see what the stock can do around these prices, and then we can make a decision after. FXI gaps down, pulls back, and finds a little bit of selling after that pullback. So pretty, I wouldn't say it's not too bearish, but it's not too bullish either, right? It's not too bullish either. So if this is the start for the downside on FXI, on Chinese names, FXI rejecting 35 cleanly today. Let me just show you this right here. So 34.95 was today's high. FXI rejecting 35 cleanly, and that under over was basically under over that I played short off of yesterday, if I remember correctly. Did I? Was it 35 or was it 36? I can't remember now. I guess it was 35. Yeah, it was 35 because we were looking for a move to 34.50 or lower. And today, 35, once again, the very same under over came into play on that position. So again, tomorrow, I believe it will be very close to that price. Either the stock stays above 35 and manages to rally higher, taking the rest of the Chinese stocks along with it. Well, other way around. Chinese stocks manage to go higher and manage to keep FXI back above 35, or Chinese stocks all struggle and FXI does not manage to get a cent above 35 and then just starts flushing back down. So there's a very clean under over there. You can see how the stock basically stayed above 34.50 for the rest of the day after the opening hour candle. That's also kind of the level because that's yesterday's low. So yesterday's low basically came into be around where the price closed at today. Also, it's potential that we could continue to see support coming into that price, so you can keep an eye on that price at the same time. So that is FXI. Always watching how the companies themselves, such as Baba, Pinduoduo, JD, am I missing something? Baidu, FUTU, all of these stocks are moving, and if they give me a clean 5-minute pattern to trade off of and they're not just kind of stuck in previous days ranges, then I will look to also maybe put some risk on these names. But instead of trading so many of the same basket, I much rather just go trade the strongest name if the basket's strong, and the weakest name if the basket's weak, and just slam those names at that time. So right now, I can't really tell you which one's going to be strong, which one's going to be weak. From experience, Pinduoduo has been ridiculously strong, so most likely going to be strong tomorrow again. Watching 155 area on Pinduoduo because that's price had some size on the stock to the upside. So if we go back into 155, if there is some size on the offer there, potentially look for a short or even a breakout long from there. I mean, who knows at this point, right? With how strong these names are. Baidu showing you some clear, obvious weakness on every single pop. We just got stuffed down. It also consolidated really well, like like Meta did for the second half of the day, but even that broke down sadly to the south side. So Baidu looking a little bit weaker, JD looking very strong like Pinduoduo. So Pinduoduo, JD in the stronger side, Baidu on the weaker side, FUTU on the stronger side, Baba on the stronger side. And I guess Baba is, and I guess Baidu, NIO, Li Auto, XPEV are on the weaker side, I guess, right? So watching the Chinese names. For the war tensions, if things actually escalate, nuclear power plants get hit, or you know, oil refineries get hit, that is going to cause a lot of problems in oil names themselves and energy names themselves. XLE potentially rising up to the north side because of all of these tensions going on at the moment. So keep an eye on these names. Mostly keep an eye on the newsletters, because as the news wires come in, as fear keeps pouring into the market, you're gonna continue seeing these type of actions on these names. Look at XLE today. XOM up, beautiful to the upside. CVX up, if I guess not really. Oxy up. Oxy had a 2.5% move up today. Sheesh. God dang. So there you go. Oil names, make sure you watch them. The main ones, however, are the ones that are actually in the Middle East and in Asia, which is INDO, I believe. I guess it's one of the reasons why previously in April, when the attacks were happening, the stock started going crazy. And now, once again, we're watching the same action coming into play. The stock is bringing in more volume than before. Today, we got pretty decent volume on day 3. The day 2, we didn't really do too much. As for technicals on names like these, they don't really help you in looking for targets, because you will always have the stock go higher or lower, and you will never really get the highest you want from it. But you can always try to get the most you want from it by using moving averages. So make sure you're using moving averages on whatever time frame that it is you're looking at. If you're trying to take profits intraday, usually a 5-minute chart. If you're trying to take profits daily, I'm not sure, because I haven't really had to go that far in my career. So you know, if you're looking to take profits on the daily chart, I guess you just look for it on a daily chart. So use moving averages to help you figure out and when the stock is in your favor and when it is not. But obviously you're not going to capture most of the move, because, for example, if you use moving averages in the day trading style, you would have only captured, let's say you were long 265, you would have only captured about $2 per share when the stock really went all the way up to 650, right? But this is how you make sure that you can capture a big move if it does come in, or you just capture the hype if it comes in on a swing scale. So here's the bull flag. You take the break out of the bull flag with the stop here. So your entry is what, $3, your stop is $2.50. You get the beautiful run up, you potentially take profits on the run up, and you keep taking profits on the pop and fails and the pop and fails, and your final stop is somewhere right at the break of this 21 EMA to the downside, and that's where you close the trade. But had that stock never really closed below 21 EMA, you can see over here we don't really close below 21 EMA. Over here we don't really close below 21 EMA. But finally, after we close below 21 EMA, you're now done with the trade. But had it not closed below the 21 EMA, that allows you to look for a bigger move potentially to the upside, which never came into play. That's just how I'm reading the chart for potential investors or swing traders as a day trader. I'm looking at the candles as a 5-minute candle. I'm not really looking at it as a day trading candle. Oh, sorry, as a 1-day candle. I'm looking at it as 5-minute candles and how I would have looked to caught this move. Same idea over here. We don't really have that beautiful consolidation before the breakout, so now all you have is the hype. But this hype usually dies down very quickly. For example, if they start talking about no attacks for a while, then that could easily bring the stock right back to the downside. It really takes that tension to make INDO go up, to make HUSA go up. Without that tension, these stocks will very easily plummet back to the downside and crumble. So you want to be very careful when you're looking for these names as a swing trade. Obviously, if you're looking on these names as an investment, then I think you're a little crazy, because these are not really moving because an investor is stepping in and they think that the stock is at a very low price and they need to go way too high, right? They need to go higher, so we're gonna buy up every single share we can. No, that's not the reason why these names are going up. We know that they're only going up because of war tensions. Now, previously we've seen they went up to 250. Is that a potential target? It could be, but you need to make sure that you're putting proper risk management into work, because these stocks will absolutely burn you if you're not doing that. These are small caps, right? If I remember correctly, INDO is a small cap, 10 million float. Okay, HUSA, another small cap, another 10 million float. And you can see how the short flow on these stocks are not that high because people have seen what has happened to them before when they were short. A lot of them were able to make money because the stock obviously plummeted, but now not a lot of people want to really be short. So even expecting a short squeeze coming into play, not there. These are only moving because of the crazy scare that's going on into the world. So be very careful when you're looking to swing or invest in these as a day trade. I mean, yeah, go for it. You look at the stock on the hourly chart, look at the stock on the daily chart, look at the stock on the 30-minute chart, and you know, map out some levels. Where do you think resistances are? Where do you think supports are? How is the stock traded on the hourly chart? Looks like we have a pretty good level into 145. You always have that $1 floor on names like these, so you can play the $1 under over if we do get a pullback, and you can use that as your floor to get long into. So there's so many ideas. For me, all that matters on names like these is the pre-market action. Is there volume in pre-market? Is the stock getting love in the pre-market? And I would say that most of these names will be very, very news driven. So I don't think we'll see much happening until something crazy happens. Like today, if Biden didn't open his mouth, I don't think USO would have had the pop it did. Right? USO was not doing much right off the open. And then Biden opens his goddamn mouth. Instead of sleeping in the cave that he belongs in, opens his mouth and you know, runs up USO. So that was that catalyst. Next sector, Nvidia. Semiconductors fairly strong today, moving right back up to the north side. Shout out to Nvidia, shout out to SMCI. SMCI actually got stuffed back down, did not see that. Intel having a nice bounce after 2165. Now that is what I would call a false breakout. If this stock continues to show support above 22 now, that could be very easily a false breakout to the downside, or should I say false breakdown, sorry, a false breakdown. And now we are getting ready to move back up on Intel, potentially create that range I was expecting to be had on 2450. Was it? I think it's 2450, between 2450 and $22 on Intel. So lots of potential over there on that name setting up. Micron bouncing off of $99. Micron bouncing off of 99 going into 102. I wanted 96, but I saw the stock hold 99 today. I just said, you know what, I'm not going to care about it. I'm going to focus on EVGO instead, and I think I made the right call. However, Micron 99 long was very easy. I'd say Micron 99 long was easier than looking for the Tesla 250 short because of how strong the market was off the open. So you can see how the stock reclaimed yesterday's VWAP. That's that yellow VWAP. Reclaimed yesterday's VWAP, held above yesterday's VWAP. Today's VWAP is now higher than yesterday's VWAP. You could have gone long right into this $100 hold and had that beautiful ride up into $102. So pretty good move on Micron over there. Showing you that the buyers are now coming back into the $100 range, and as long as the stock keeps giving us opportunities between 99 to 100, either for the long or for the short below 99, that opens up some fun. But below 99 you only have, I'd say, up to 96 or at worst 92. So let's see what happens. For now, I want to see 99 being held again, or 100 being held on Micron for me to even think long on this position. So we'll be on watch tomorrow without a doubt. One of the names at the high of the board will be on watch will be Meta. If the market is, not really looking to crumble and we're not seeing much scare coming out from the Israel side and Iran side, then I think Meta, which was pretty strong today, could potentially make an all-time high. Right now, the all-time high is $583.36, and looks like we actually put that all-time high in today. So 583.56, new all-time, or 36, sorry. 583.50 is what I'm going to put in my watch list. Is the new all-time high on Meta. So shout out to Meta, shout out to Victor H Investing. You now have a new all-time high, extremely bullish. You can see how we're holding the 9 EMA on the dips at the moment. Meta is so strong. So shout out to Meta. carrying the market on its back. I guess the market was fairly flat today, right? Yeah, market red on the Qs, market red on the SPYs. Meta saying, I don't care. I'm going to be green, baby. 1.7% up. So obviously, if Meta can continue carrying higher, shout out to Meta. But if Meta struggles around this 585, I'm gonna say 585 because this is Meta, okay? You know, it's never really to the price. I'm gonna round it up to 585. If we start rejecting around 585 to this 583 area, then potentially you could look for a short back down if the market's weak. But you gotta realize you're then shorting the strongest stock in the world at the moment, and you know, there's strength in this name. You'd be crazy to do that. So looking for a short, really, if the stock is parabolic right off the open and runs up into a crazy level, and that crazy level has a lot of sellers on the offer, then I can lean off the offer and then, you know, look to get a short scalp out of it. That is the only way I would look to build short into Meta. I'd much rather get long on this position above 584. If we're holding above 583.50, above 584, I'd much rather look for that long on this position, especially if the market's looking bullish. Market tried to sell off today multiple times and did not manage to do so. Did not manage to sell off at all. We were red on the day, yes, but barely. So, you know, if the strength comes in, like the way the market has been finding strength for the last few days, for example, let me pull in, boom, boom, boom. Both days above 565.50, 565. So as long as the market stays above that price, I am not really looking to get heavy short on Meta at all. Or looking to get short on Meta at all. If S&P 500 is taking out 565 and Meta gives me a short around 585 at the very same time, that's a crazy discrepancy. But if it is, I'll take it. I'll take it. So that's Meta. I want to talk about Tesla. So the 250 under over is obviously over. Now we got the 240 under over. However, that 240 is stretched a little bit lower today to 237.81 because of the extra weakness the stock poured in. Guggenheim lowered Tesla's price target to $134, maintaining a sell rating. JP Morgan increased its target to $130. Analysts have an average hold rating with the targets ranging from $85 to $310. Now that's a wide analyst range. Shout out to the analyst over here on Tesla speculation. I guess it's a pretty obvious under over for me on Tesla. It's this 235 area. Tesla has been ridiculously strong, weak below 235 until we had that breakout, and we never really tested that 235 breakout low. I want to also put in the anchored VWAP from August low. August low anchored VWAP is actually a little bit lower, 224. That's a little bit lower than 235. But I want to see how this previous breakout important level, does it act as a support on a pullback? Do we see a little bit more sell-off on Tesla into this 235 area and then bounce? So we'll be interested to watch this price without a doubt. I didn't really watch Apple today, but that is the last name on the board for the large cap names. I guess Apple just kind of stuck having an inside day. If I want to short Apple, I'd much rather just go short the S&P 500 and the QQQ. I think this is just, you know, following the market. It's a high market beta name. When the market looked weak, I'm pretty sure Apple looked weak, and when the market looks strong, I'm pretty sure Apple looks strong. So nothing really special here in this name at the moment. There were a couple bearish catalyst news not too long ago, but those don't really seem to be putting extra weight on the stock at the moment. So just gonna let it do its thing. When the price action doesn't match my thesis, I just step away. I don't need to keep fighting and walking myself into a brick wall. There's no door there, Prad. You don't need to keep walking into that wall, right? You can walk into a different direction. So stay away from Apple, in my opinion. Palantir, notable mention. Palantir, I guess a news catalyst came out that insider selling is now done on this name. So breaking out of the previous candle high. This is the S&P 500 day. So Boy, oh boy, Palantir has been proving me wrong, you know, because I said the stock would set up for a monster short. I guess it did set up for a monster short the next day, okay? It did set up for a monster short the next day, but it didn't really set up for a monster short for the next few days. So insider selling now is done on Palantir. That didn't really bring in a lot more volume. For example, 30-day average is 66 million shares. Today's volume is 57 million shares. So not a lot more volume than average volume has been brought into Palantir, but it's big enough of a move on a normal volume day. So shout out to Palantir here for managing to keep on rallying higher. I mean, at this point, $40 is imminent. We are expecting 40 to come into play tomorrow, and potentially, oh wow, is that really exactly that candle high? What the hell? There you go. It was 39.22, and I guess we went kind of a little bit above that candle high. That was February 2021 high, and then we have the all-time high into $45. I mean, is this stock really going into $45? Or at least $40 tomorrow? So watching Palantir as we keep on climbing up higher and higher and higher. This makes me very sad because I had Palantir at freaking $16, man. Damn it. Fuck. I had Palantir at $16, dude. That sucks. Where's my damn sliver? Oh, that hurts. So watching this one, obviously, pretty high importance. Silver making a move right back into our alert, so almost going to trigger our alert tomorrow, most likely. Either we get that alert for the breakout higher, or we get the reject from that alert. So silver keeping an eye on that 29.50 area. And then gold hasn't really breaking out, but gold also getting ready to potentially make that breakout run to the north side also. So if gold breaks out, potentially silver breaks out also. So watching these names tomorrow or whenever they set up. XLE, as I mentioned earlier, you know, the whole sector catching traction as energy names, as nuclear power plants being threatened, as oil plants being threatened, oil refineries being threatened, people's lives being threatened. These names are now catching some traction. So keep an eye on some of the hotter sectors. Keep an eye on some of the hotter stocks. So you got the Chinese sectors, CLOV, EVGO, the hotter stocks that have been going on recently. Then you got the war catalyst, which is the oil names. Then you got the overall market itself, QQQ, S&P 500. Then you also have some of the large cap names, Tesla, which has been moving off of a catalyst, a recent catalyst, Meta, which is extremely bullish AF, as the kids would say these days. And then you have Apple, which I want to kind of just, you know, leave Apple alone, let Apple do its thing. And the wonderful semiconductor sector. We love the semiconductor sector. So obviously watching Nvidia, SMCI, ARM, MU, TSM, and all those fun stuff. So that's basically the watch list for tomorrow. I thought we had IPOs we had to do research for, but I'm actually going to ignore this IPO. This is only a $55 million IPO. Usually, you know, these are lame. They don't give you a trading opportunity, and even if they do, I mean, it's very small. So I don't really want to even spend... Oh, okay, I'll stop being lazy. I'll stop being lazy. All right. That's not small. What the? You said 55 million. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That says 55 million. And over here, where is it? You're saying deal size is 600 million? Okay, so I'm glad I wasn't lazy. All right, CBNA on New York. Yes, on New York. Range 24 to 2460. Okay, let's see what the company does first. Chainbridge Bank Corp is a Delaware chartered bank holding company and the parent of its wholly owned subsidiary Chainbridge Bank N.A., a nationally chartered commercial bank with the fiduciary powers granted by the OCC. The company conducts substantially all of its operations through the bank and has no other subsidiaries. We offer a range of commercial and personal banking services, including deposits, treasury management, payments, loans and commercial lending, residential mortgage financing, consumer loans, trust and estimate administration, wealth management, and asset custody. So basically another financial company founded in 2006, a real company, I guess. Only 84 employees. Okay, let's continue. Market cap of 160 million. Enterprise value is negative 305 million. I love to see that. Shares outstanding 6 million shares, and you're offering... How does that work? How does that work? It says you're offering 1.8 million shares. So I'm guessing this number is wrong. Because their outstanding shares is only 6.2 million shares. So they're offering quite a bit of the shares to the market. That's basically their exit mechanism. They're looking to exit from the market. PE ratio is actually not bad. They make money? 10 PE. Not bad. Okay. I guess it's a bank. They should make money, right? Return on equity 16%. And return on invested capital 13%. Past 12 months paid around $4 million in taxes, 100% gross profit, operating profit margins 48%, and profit margins 38%. In the last 12 months, cash flow 18 million, expenditures 251,000. That's it, bro. What do you guys not have an official banking institution that you pay lights and rent and everything for, or you only have what? Like, isn't capital expenditures basically like employee payrolls? What do you pay your employees? Nothing? You have 86 employees. What do you pay your employees? Peanuts? What? Something's shady here. Everything, or maybe someone's getting this info completely wrong here today. The company has $488 million in cash and $22 million in debt. That's not bad, I guess. In the last 12 months, CBNA had a revenue of 41.16 million and earned 15.88 million in profits, earned 2.47 per share. Okay. Do they actually make money? Now that's the question. A little bit, not really. So this obviously was a little bit of a shady... I mean, I don't want to say shady, but it looked very weird. It wasn't really... It looked weird. We'll keep it on watch. Not really too excited about that one, but we'll keep it on watch. And IPOs tomorrow. We also got another IPO here. This one is a small IPO. Not sure if I will care about this. What is this? Is this Chinese company? Yeah, then we do care about this one. If the Chinese market goes higher, then you for sure want to care about this one. Our brand FlashX has become synonymous with on-demand dedicated courier services in China. Pioneer in providing on-demand dedicated courier services for individual and business customers with superior time certainty and delivery safety and service quality. I don't know about that. You're not making any money. I guess you are making money, but not really as much money. What do you have a PE? Your PE is out the wazoo. Out the wazoo PE. You have any debt? $645 million in debt. $6 million in profits. Oh, you have no debt at all? I call that bullshit. Oh, there you go. 6.9 million in debt, 11.69 million in cash. Gotcha. There you go. Capital expenditures last 12 months. Not much. Profit margins, operating margins are low. Gross margins not that great either. And their PE, they're clearly expensive AF. They are clearly expensive AF. So watching this one too, reports tomorrow, very low deal amount, very low deal amount. So if it does not have the volume that I'm looking for, I'm just not gonna care to trade it at all. It needs to have the volume off the open and continue having some volume for the later half of the day. Otherwise, I just don't care about it. So those are the IPOs tomorrow. Prad, great show. See you Sunday night. Take care, sir. Thank you for coming in once again. Appreciate you watching every single time. Take care. Catch you next time. So that's the IPO calendar. We have 2 more stocks to take a look at the IPO calendar very soon. So make sure you tune in next week for that one. We'll walk through that. Last but not least, the economic calendar. Usually not much happening, but I guess tomorrow is pretty heavy, and all that heaviness is right in pre-market. 8:30, you got a bunch of 3-star events, hourly earnings, non-pharma payrolls, U6 unemployment rate, so I guess this unemployment rate, private non-pharma payrolls, participation rate, manufacturing numbers, government payroll numbers. So a bunch of events, mainly the 3-star events. So average hourly earnings, non-pharma payrolls, and the unemployment rate number coming out at 8:30. 9 o'clock, you got the Fed member Williams coming with the comments at probably you know, the market itself, or maybe not the market, sorry, but the inflation and everything. We've had a lot of Fed members talking recently, so we'll see if this one helps the market. Obviously 8:30 is a very big time for the market, so make sure you're attentive if you're watching what happens at 8:30, or if you're looking to make a trading decision at 8:30. After that, I think it's just smooth sailing, and then the market might just be standstill until something really drastic happens in the Middle East. So we want to be ready for that drastic, or you know, a standstill happens in the Middle East, because as soon as the fear dies down, we start rallying back up. So you can just watch the VIX for that. As soon as the fear dies down, the VIX is back above 19 and looking strong above 19, but the market isn't really selling off. So there is fear, right? But if fear starts to die out, then the market will easily start going to the north side without any problem. So right now you're watching this as a gauge, and then you're also watching the overall market tomorrow. Employment number. It says unemployment number, man. Come on. Can't you read? NYC Shaw Sharp rise in toilet paper sales today, but now the strike is over. That's right, I saw some port strike. I guess Zim is potentially a name for that to keep an eye on. Zim potentially sold off on the whole port strike catalyst, of potentially moving right back into $17. I might buy Zim on my personal account if we go to 17 and actually hold above 17 next time. So we'll see what happens. Zim getting sold off a little bit makes sense. You know, the port catalyst, not really a good catalyst for the stock, so getting hurt off of that one. I'm sure other names also got hurt. Maybe Mersek. You guys know how to spell that? Maersk. Yeah, they sold off pretty hard, right? This is another transportation, shipping company and so on. So makes sense. Makes sense. JVS isn't 6 p.m. technically early evening. What's that? What are you talking about there? He's got a great employee. They work for free. I'm basically a great employee for YouTube. I work for free. I get paid $0. You know, absolutely no money. But that's that. I guess that is, ladies and gentlemen, basically all I had to talk about on stream today. Unless you guys have anything you want me to talk about, it's time to wrap it up. Wrap it up. Wrap it up. I gotta go do the dishes. I was gonna go play a game of chess with you guys here, but no, I gotta go do dishes and I got a bunch of shit to do. So I'm gonna get to step in, and I'm gonna wish you guys a beautiful rest of your night. Time to roll in the outro. So thank you everybody for coming in. If you enjoyed the stream and feel like you like what you see, hit that like, hit that subscribe. It helps out with the YouTube algorithm. Leave a comment in the stream if you're watching. Appreciate everybody who stays and watches. Check out the links below in the description. If you choose to use any of the softwares that I use for trading, the links for them are right down below. Make sure to use code PRAD15 to get 15% off. This Sunday, we do have a special guest. Our special guest will be a financial advisor who used to work with Vanguard. So it's gonna be a fun one. It's gonna be a good one. So make sure you tune in. We're gonna have some fun with our friends over at on Sunday. I want to keep it a guess. I don't want to say what his name is. I want to keep it a surprise. So make sure you tune in on Sunday. If you have any questions about about investing, about holding stocks, or growing your personal finance to a higher level, not just about stocks, about normal life things, bring your questions to my stream on Sunday. I'll catch you guys then, 6 p.m. Have a great night. Have an even better market session tomorrow. TraderPrad out. Adios. Media and other positions too, all across the board. Magnificent 7 also had a pretty good day on themselves today, so pretty good moves across the board. Tech basket get destroyed. Get ready for trade off of. Get ready for the watch list for tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm gonna bring in my big screen over here. Back to another brand new week of After the After Hours with your host TraderPrad. I'm doing great. Hopefully you guys are joining me on that great side. Markets are moving around. Might just be a risk on type of day. So let's see what happens. 8 o'clock tomorrow. As you guys know, we do the stream Monday to Thursday, 8 p.m. Shout out to my affiliate sponsors, Benzinga, Trade Ideas, the #1 scanner to go to, Trader Sync, promo code down below, promo code PRAD15 to get 15% off. I will catch you guys tomorrow, 8 o'clock, same time, same place. Until then, TraderPrad out. Adios.